Hello. We're back to the Backpack Show. We have
Hello.
somehow endured an entire week off. Hello, Carrie. Welcome back.
Did you miss me?
Hi, Brian and Janice. Oh, I missed you terribly. I hope your travels were well, though. I hope you grew a lot. I hope you had, did you go to Tibet?
No.
Are
I
you
don't
going
do
to
the I do
Mexico?
the eat, pray, love thing, but only the first step.
Oh, just eat.
Yes.
Are you going to Mexico like Coach Woodard?
No, I was not. I had to go home for a family event. I do eat at like all my favorite places if I can.
Oh, that's always good. That's something to
Coach.
love. So we
I
have
know.
an interesting week this week. Like all week long, we have such a mix of guests, and look, Dave Davies has arrived from Canada. Now we're safe. We have a Canadian in the house. So today we said, you know what we should talk about today? Tech support, candles, maybe some cats. Some
No, that is not how that went. Thank you very much.
pizza.
So I was on Twitter and I saw a tweet from Birdie Hansen, and she's fascinating. So that was number one. Number two, I ordered some of her candles, which smell like really good.
That
This
doesn't
one's
say
saffron
goodness,
and tobacco.
boo boo or anything, right? Saffron, what?
No, saffron and tobacco.
Oh, nicer, much nicer.
Yeah. So I want to talk with her about running a self-funded, woman-owned, LGBTQIA-friendly business of her own after working in anthropology for a long time. Her candles smell amazing, by the way. And Richard Roth is the founder of Progressive Tech, which is Seattle's highest-rated tech support company. And I was like, there's lots of tech support companies. So I wanted to know how he made that one successful in what is a very crowded space.
And listen, your call is very important. So we're going to give you that tech support answer in just 7 calls.
Welcome to the Backpack Show with your hosts, Chris Brogan and Carrie Gargone. Boom shakalaka.
Apparently it's hot in Austin.
Yeah,
Only because you're there, Elizabeth.
Thank you, jellyfish.
I thought you were talking to me for a second. I was like, what am I wearing today?
There's a warning, though, that the Texas problem of February with the freezing is coming back because the power output coming in the next couple of weeks is going to be worse than when the power went out February for the freezing.
Oh.
I was hoping for a text message. So just checking in. No, I just had to get it off of all my things so it doesn't go brrr.
Okay.
But anyway, hey, so yeah, we've got Richard Roth, we've got Birdie Hansen. So we can talk candles, we can talk tech support.
We can talk candles, but first we should mention.
Oh yeah, a couple of sponsors. We have that sort of thing. It's so weird.
You shouldn't be sad about it. It's actually a very nice thing to have people support the show, the Backpack Show about business success.
Oh yeah, that. You want to know who supported us today? Whack. StreamYard. We're sponsored by StreamYard. They sent the check today. So thanks for your bag of money, StreamYard. You can have your own video show just like this and maybe find your own sponsor. cbrogan.me/StreamYard. Don't feed the ducks.
Don't feed the ducks.
Hey, do you ever think you wanted an audio podcast? Well, guess what? You can have a really cool audio podcast. Just go to castos.com, set it right up. Whoosh, it works. It's just so fast. You don't even have to see our faces. You can listen to us anywhere.
There are plenty of other options for podcast hosting. We use castos.com. It is easy, and that is how podcast hosting should be.
Wow. And they can't hear me choke on a podcast. So that's 2 out of the 4 ad reads for right now. But listen, I want to point out one thing. You can sponsor this old Backpack Show with crypto coins. Woo, the future. You can go to rally.io/creator/BKBK.
You're going to have to just type that out because it's way too long.
Put it in. So anyway, you can sponsor the damn show.
What's so funny is you could always sponsor the show, but then when we started letting people pay with like backpack coin, all of a sudden we had like 7
all of a sudden
sponsors.
We had one where we had like 7 or 8 people want to read it at one time.
That was really funny.
You sponsor a week of the show for $50, which right now is only 17.08 backpack coins because it's around $3 a coin. And then if you just want to come backstage, just holding coins, and almost all of you in this audience have some coins. If you ever want to come backstage and watch the shenanigans beforehand, you could do that as well.
It's a whole different conversation now to be like, are you holding? Hi, Elizabeth.
All right. Hey, are we talking about schmandles, or are we talking?
Yes, let's do it. I have another one.
More and more devices have a USB-C on the backside instead of on the catch side. We got to ask that question.
Well,
later, too.
thank you, Elizabeth. So nice of you. Now I want a jellyfish shirt. Mine's like a Game of Thrones shirt. It says, "I do not have a gentle heart." And one of my friends on Facebook was like, "Yes, you do." It's the mother of dragons. She's like, "Oh, okay then."
Hey, there's Leslie.
All right,
Well,
let's
now
talk
we
about
can
candles. Why these are different.
Birdie, help us out. Why do we need
Let's
candles
talk about these candles.
in a world where you've left anthropology behind, and the only other famous candle in the world smells like a person? What brought us out into this world? Catch us up.
So candles started as a pandemic project. I was really bored and last summer ordered just a bunch of wax and fragrances and started making candles based on a method that I learned through a food blogger who does a lot of recipe testing. He tests different temperatures and cook times, and I kind of took that method and took it to candles. So doing lots of different temperatures, different types of waxes, different fragrances, different fragrance loads. And along the way, like there's only so many candles that you can burn at one given point in time. So I started giving candles away to family and to friends. And then when the holidays rolled around, people were like, "Hey, those candles that you gave to me over the summer, like, can I buy them?" And I was like, "Oh no, like it was just a fun little pandemic hobby." And people were like, "No, I want to buy those candles. They were awesome." So that was how Gifts by Birdie was born, was, some friendly bullying into a business.
I feel like you should make the one peach candle now, on Saturday Night Live when they joke about how there's like the one peach candle you give when you have nothing else and you don't know what the person likes. You just put a bow on it and then they give it away the next year to somebody else.
1,000,000%.
Have you run through a whole ton of the candle jokes since launching up this business?
I have, and I love a pun. So it has really allowed me this like creative outlet to get some of the punnies out.
Oh, on the labels on your candles? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for the labels. Yeah.
Like not dad approved?
Yes, definitely not dad approved, some of them.
So in the process, is this your house? Is this a real live shot from?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly like that.
And the constant fear of like, did I leave the house with a candle burning? And can I text my cat to blow it out?
They have wooden wicks. You can't. I haven't
do.
even lit it because it actually smells really good without even lighting it.
Thank
but
you.
There's like a wooden wick in there.
Yeah, wooden wicks. A vegan apricot coconut cream wax that burns really slowly. So when you do start to burn it, it will last for a really long time.
I will never burn it, Birdie.
But
just
it's there
like
to be burned.
If you die early, are they going to say that it seemed that you lived your life like a candle in the wind?
Probably.
Christopher.
Birdie, people who know you don't suspect. Like, I'm betting Brian never thought. I bet she's going to do candles.
Oh,
what
no,
happened?
I didn't expect I was going to do candles. Because I've like lived a million lives before candles. I was the global digital content manager for Puma. I worked for the Movember Foundation. I worked in a funeral home. Like I've done so many different things that candles were not on my 5-year plan.
See, that's working in a funeral home is exactly when you might be like, oh my God, we need to burn some candles. This is
100%
situation. Like all those flowers and stuff, you could use some saffron and tobacco to balance it out.
Balance it all out.
Yep.
Was about 1/3 of your job at Puma just telling people no, it's not Puma? Like
well, it is Puma in Germany.
Oh.
Get that? You're wrong in Germany.
Well,
most Americans are wrong in German anyway. So yes.
Very true. So Birdie, what did you think when you were young? What did you think you were going to be doing when you were growing up? What did you want to be doing?
Oh my gosh, I wanted to go to law school. I wanted to go to law school, and I did my undergrad at Boston University and was completely on track to live out that law school dream and become a judge. And then it just didn't work out that way. And now I make candles.
You know what?
You can see how that turns out.
You shut up.
Spoiler alert, it turned out okay.
Hey,
Right?
Birdie, another little detail, by the way, I couldn't help but notice on your Twitter, which was a little strangely, you're very buy, like not just some buy. and you sell a candle called Buy Panic. Is
I
there some
do.
extra level of buy that I need to know about or something? What's going
No,
on?
I think there's only one level, and it's always like a little bit of buy panic.
What is Buy Panic? That they'll at least halfway move in after the second date?
No, it's more like this feeling that you get when you see for me, it's like when I see a beautiful woman and I'm just like,
Got it.
oh my God, like she's a goddess. And like, I'm so sorry for breathing your air.
This is the best part.
And I feel like I have to go get my other candle.
Rotten Hell Governor Parson Crackling Wooden Wick Candle.
Yeah.
That sounds-
Governor Parson is the
Janice
worst.
likes the Ted Cruz one.
The Ted Cruz one is great. That one actually went kind of viral on TikTok. I released it and I was at my in-laws' house and all of a sudden my phone just like vibrated off of the counter and I was like, what is going on? And I looked and it was just TikTok notification and Shopify orders coming in. And I was like, what is happening right now? Yeah, apparently people really don't like Ted Cruz. Or they really like
they really like candles.
Candle.
Yeah, they just really like candles. That's what it
Super
is.
into candles.
There are a lot of candle makers, to be fair. Like
Yes.
I've actually talked to people who do incubators and stuff, and they're like, "Oh man, another candle thing." Like, they don't necessarily see room for more candle companies. So how did you make a name for yourself and carve out a niche?
That's a great question. And it started by letting my personality come through. So the brand started as this very like boho chic. And I thought that I wanted it to be very goop friendly or something that would end up in Vogue. And then I wound up ordering this fragrance to go along with the sexy stoner candle. So we did a stoner candle for $420. And we did a munchies collection to go along with it. And we did this orange creamsicle scent. And no one ordered the pre-order. So I had this fragrance just laying around and I was like, what am I going to do with this? And I was like, what if I just make a Josh Hawley Sucks candle? And I did a run of like maybe a dozen. And I thought, if I can just move these, that'll be great. And it sold out in 24 hours. We did a pre-order that had like 50 some odd pre-orders on it. And I was like, oh, if I just let my personality come through and don't try to put myself in this box of trying to be this one thing, that like people are into it. So I just kind of let my freak flag fly now.
Clearly, which brings me to the next topic: bicycles for pizza or ice cream or both.
Yes. My husband is a super active cyclist and I'm not the most physically fit person. I definitely put on some pandemic weight, but you can always bribe me to ride my bike to either get pizza or ice cream. It's the little carrot that you can dangle.
You know about Uber Eats, right?
I do, but we actually live in a really bike-friendly portion of Kansas City, so it's super fun to ride around, and we're car-free, so bikes are a great way to get from A to Z pretty quickly.
Steve Garfield of stevegarfield.com wants to know, do you have a candle with black tea and is it bergamot?
Bergamot? I do not currently, but there are so many fragrances on our radar.
Well, I mean, I just want to draw attention to the Daddy Issues candle, which smells like therapy I shouldn't have to pay for, and cotton candy.
Yeah.
So you've really gone there. It's I'm waiting to see what new collections bring.
Me too. It's always a surprise, even to me.
Is there one you tried that you were like, oh, that was a mistake? Like you just never spoke of it again?
Yes, 100%. That happened.
What'd that smell like?
There was one, the fragrance label said that it was supposed to smell like grapefruit and mint, and it smelled like neither. So I don't know what happened there. We tested
What did you put in it? Oregano?
No, I bought a fragrance oil from a distributor and it just didn't work out. It happens sometimes.
Good to know. Good to know. Birdie Hansen, we're going to throw you backstage, but you've illuminated us. Get it?
You've
illuminated
you could just
us.
change the label. Anytime something doesn't smell like what it's supposed to be, you could be like, this is the garbage candle. Or something.
Funky fart. So just put it out there. Birdie,
It
thanks
smells
so
like
much
your
for being
cat.
part of this.
It smells like your cat.
Kicking you
Don't
right
go
back.
away.
Boop, don't go away.
Yeah, we definitely have questions.
Hey,
said,
great
don't eat
news.
the 420 candles.
I liked that one. Great news, people. While I transition, boop, we are sponsored by .online. Did you want to get your own .online domain? Sure you did. It's 99 cents if you use the code Chris, all in caps.
Do you want a .online domain? Do you?
Do you, Dora? Hey, so for several weeks and counting, because she keeps paying, I have been using presearch.com as my search engine. Presearch.com. They actually have their own cryptocurrency tied to it. You could put in candles and get Birdie. If you go to Presearch, all you have to do is stake your claim on a keyword instead of having to pay for the keyword.
But you don't even have to. Yeah, you don't have to give up the coins. You just hold it.
You just say, I'm holding some coins right now. And they say, here you go. And that's it. So presearch.com. I have really taken to appreciating it as a search engine. The only time I ever end up in the other search engines when I just kind of forget that I'm doing it, because every device in the world tries to force you there. But hey, stick it to the man. Use presearch.com. I've heard that Richard Roth is even considering putting this on some of his computers when he gets done, switching out the official search engine. So I guess we should ask him that question.
He has not said that. Look, bye-bye, Birdie. Birdie's still here. We have more questions for her. She will be back.
And I said bye-bye, Birdie. So
can we have her back for a second show to talk about working in a funeral home? We can talk to her about that in this one.
Around, baby. Yeah. The show's this.
Will you?
So much more to the show.
Oh, Kate wants to know, are you going to keep using Presearch if they stop giving you money?
Probably. But still give me money. Hi, Richard.
Hey, Chris.
How the heck are you? I don't know why Carrie said let's talk to a tech support guy, but she's decided you're so important. What do you want me to do?
For 30 seconds, pretend that you might actually continue using it. I mean, you could at least seem conflicted about it for Pete's
sake. Let me think about it. Richard Roth, tech support is never any. No one says when they're a kid out on the swing set, I can't wait to be a tech support guy. Like, what brought you to this, and what made you run your own one instead of just working for your pal who has like 2 pickup trucks and a good phone system?
Well, I started pretty young, just helping neighbors, friends with technology. I didn't really anticipate it turning into a 25-year career, but so it has. I started Progressive Tech in 2006. Wow. So was that 16 years? I guess our claim to success has been really treating not only my staff, but also the customer with a higher level of respect and care than would be normal. So that's worked really well for us and been the reason that we have survived. I mean, we kind of launched right into the 2008 economic crisis. And so we've been through a lot. We were really just a small local tech support company. I didn't anticipate it growing into more of a national firm, but our mom and pop customers brought us to businesses got bigger and bigger, and it all grew organically. I never really set out to have a tech empire, but we are pretty popular in the Seattle area where we started, and now across the world. We have clients that I help in Australia and the UK, all over the country. And although I've taken a backseat role, it's been really rewarding, and I love seeing my staff do well and buy cars and houses, and it's really rewarding.
Think about sending your clients a candle every once in a while. I know you can get some.
Top clients, chocolates, candles. I'll have to reevaluate my sourcing.
When you say backseat role, what's changed? What's the story going on over there for you, and what are you spending your time doing right now?
Well, I have done it for a long time. I kind of burned out on the customer service side. Sure. A lot of years of that, and I think I've probably talked or helped to over 50,000 people, unique people. I think I put in enough time doing that, and I just kind of grow a little weary of that. I've moved into more of a media role, directing the company. Gotcha. On a personal level, I'm moving out of tech support and into eco support, which is more like landscape, agricultural consulting. That's more of my passion. I grew up in the food world. Family was in the food business. I went into tech because I saw it was a highly needed thing those years ago. And it turns out I was right. And everybody needs tech support now. It's like eating or driving. So it worked out well.
Now you just want to go outside?
Being outside is nice. I spent a lot of years under lights indoors in Seattle. Yep. I've done some trips now that COVID is wrapped up. I just went to New York City and was around a bunch of people and everything. It was really weird. but we're getting back to it.
Steve Garfield wants to know, is camo a good way to use your phone as a webcam? I don't know what camo is.
One of my favorites, yeah. So you can connect it to your computer and use the high quality camera on your phone instead of the low quality webcam. So
he was testing you and you passed the test.
It worked well. I'm using it now, and it's a lot clearer than a laptop or an iPad or any other device. So I'm a big fan.
The pandemic must have been a huge dent in putting out your business. You must have had an insanely strong year, 2020, insofar as the fact that there's a lot of people who it's, buy one, get one, that sort of a thing. Like the whole experience of everybody having their home equipment and suddenly not having, it's right there on his screen. I get it. There's a little.
Doesn't mean I know what it is.
So anyway, pandemic happens. All of a sudden, a lot of people are home with their computers from work. Their computer IT team is only doing so much, and they're starting to get a little embarrassed about it. Plus, everybody home is eating their network. What was kind of like the brunt of things you had to work on through 2020 and into this year?
The consumer side, I mean, we help businesses, we help people as well, but I would say we really did get slammed on the business side. As everyone left the office, things at home are not, inspected or tested by an IT person like they would be at the office. So a lot of Wi-Fi problems, coverage issues, older devices, kids on the network, bandwidth, privacy, VPN, all that kind of stuff. Consumer demand was pretty much the same, similar amount of devices being used. Definitely people have been feeling the pinch financially. We've extended some discounts for those clients of ours that did struggle through that pandemic. But yeah, overall, it didn't change too much. It's one of those things, tech support's always in demand. Business had to carry on, and a lot of push towards digital and QR codes happened, and a lot of people needed even more support. So yeah, it was a busy time for us. We added some staff and continue to grow organically.
QR codes are back?
What's that?
The QR codes are back? People were kind of like, those are already like, I felt like a lot of people had said that they were going to be sort of passed over. Like near field technology and other kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it's the hybrid, the bridge until we get to that. But for now, yeah, if you want to read a menu these days, you need to use a QR code.
So QRs on the menus. Richard, another kind of related question to tech support. This is, especially now that you're doing eco support, this isn't as fun. But I feel like a lot of people also have that feeling of, well, I already bought a router. Why are you telling me that the Wi-Fi doesn't make any sense? Or I already have a, Ethernet cable. You know what I mean? Like the whole 10 to 100, the whole, as bandwidth keeps going up faster and better than the equipment people have in their house. How is that process for you? And then I guess in general, how is the whole education process with people who are maybe feeling impatient, even though they're the ones who are clearly at fault?
That's a tough one. I mean, it's like driving. There's some skills that are associated with that, necessary for that. I guess the unique thing about tech support is a lot of people just don't want to know per se. So there's a real resistance to learning. My favorite people to help are those who want to like take notes and listen. And there are those who just want to call every time and go over the same printer troubleshooting 10 times and they just don't want to deal with it. So it really depends on the user. But overall, it's been pretty good experience.
How often does turning it off and on again fix things?
Surprisingly, a lot of the time. I was just joking the other day with some friends. Did you try turning it off? No, that's not going to work. And then, of course, it did.
That's one of my favorite stories of Scott Adams, who wrote Dilbert. He was talking about he designed the pager network in your area, actually out in the Seattle area. And he wandered into an AT&T store and said, I don't know what's wrong with the pager. It's broken. But don't you try telling me anything because I designed the pager network. And he said the kid with this glazed eye look, just looking at him eye to eye with Scott's pager, opens up the battery, flips it over, turns the battery, gives it back to him, and it runs. And of course, this ye old put the battery in wrong problem. And Scott Adams said, so I never said anything to anyone again in my life about technology and my skills. He was done. Are there, besides people who are accidentally breaking the coffee holder and all those old ones, are there new modern great PR tech stories that people can remember forever?
Yeah, nothing comes to mind right off the bat.
It's not like the old days, is it? When people had the CD drive, they could pop it out and stick their coffee there and it would break. Or, there's always those kinds of challenges that happen in tech support, but it's just not as funny to do tech support anymore, is it?
Well, that's why he's doing eco now.
It's changed. The tech support's changed a lot because computers have changed. I mean, when I started there, Windows was kind of a new option. So yeah, Windows XP was struggled with malware. Operating systems today are much more resilient. But one thing about tech support is perpetual learning. Fortunately, I've been blessed to have a team around me and haven't been the sole person to kind of drive and build our knowledge base. So I'm totally useless without my team. There's no company without them at all. And my advice to anyone starting a business is definitely to invest in your staff because they will carry you.
Backpackers are still talking candles out there.
They're all on cat fart.
They're talking about having a cat fart candle.
By the way, Douglas, who mentioned IT Crowd was one of the most successful video guys in the world at the start of it all. A sort of Q&A show that he was part of back in the day. So it's good to see you here, boss. All right, let's grab Birdie back. We're going to have some questions to the both of you. We'll connect you all up. Let me just do this real quick.
Coach Woodard wants to know if your team helps remedy hacked systems.
Yeah, that's one of the number one things we face these days is intrusions usually involve stealing an account that has access to change things. So they're basically after your accounts, phishing emails, network intrusions. They're trying to get into those accounts. And so, yeah, that's been a huge area for support. In the last
you can hardly not do it. You can't be like, no, come back to us when you've got that fixed and we'll do the regular stuff. That's not going to work.
It depends on what level of detection you would need. But, if you're a 10,000 user office, you might want to, call the FBI. But if you're, 100 users, 100 people or less, then we would definitely be in a position to help you out.
Birdie, is there a tech support kind of candle coming to mind? Do you have any good recommendation for the scent of that?
Smell like burnt paper.
Yes.
Or like an Office Space candle that smells like you just want to throw your computer out the window.
Yeah, it smelled like a Louisville Slugger and like a broken printer, maybe printer ink.
Toner.
Can you embed a yellow staple?
Toner. Yeah.
Red staple? Toner.
We had some questions for one thing that apparently people want a cat fart candle. I feel like I should.
Yes, I
know that.
Is it a good idea or a great idea? I don't know.
And now we need to talk about you working in a funeral home because apparently that's something people need to know more about.
Yeah. So when I graduated from BU, I was really interested in grief counseling, and that was really my way into my psychology degree. And I decided, okay, well, a great way to get some hands-on experience would be to work in a funeral home. So right after I graduated, I took this apprenticeship at a funeral home in Boston and got my embalmer's license and worked for a funeral home for about 6 months.
So what was the worst and best parts of that?
Oh, man. The worst part was, I guess, just not being able to help people as much as I really wanted to, because I was always really fascinated by grief. I started college and then 10 days later, 9/11 happened. And so I was really interested in helping people. And I just didn't feel like there was that connection there. But the best part was just being able to get some really cool hands-on business experience, because when you do an apprenticeship, you are doing anything from answering the phones to filing to meeting with families. So it was a great kind of crash course into running a business.
I was just thinking through the notion of wanting to help someone with their grief. Like you just get your arm right around them and you cry with them there at the funeral home. It's not a service that they offer that much anymore, it turns out. Mountain Dew and Frito candle. That sounds like it's right up her alley. She does the 420 friendly kind of candle choices over there. I don't know. This could be another business for you too, Richard. I don't know if you noticed, but evidently candles are back. All right. I'll tell you. This is going to be one of the toughest episodes ever for this, but just so you know.
Oh, and here's our person of the day. Kaboom!
I don't even know.
I don't know how. Clearly we were missed because there's a lot of comments in here. I don't know how
Not
we're going to
us,
be able
that's
to
Birdie
decide
and Richard.
who to be a person of the day. But you know who I'm going to give it to because I have to. I'm
I never know why. I don't know why.
I'm totally compelled. I'm just going to go with Doug because he was
That is a good idea.
He was my second very successful video star that I ever met in person after meeting Steve Garfield from stevegarfield.com. So there you go, Doug. You win it. It's a free apple. You just go to a store and buy the apple of your choice. Make sure you wash it.
And wash it really
it's
good.
Yours.
We need a line of candles like after like video influencers and stuff. So, what Steve Garfield's candles smell like.
So look, we're going to get out of here. So I've got a question we've asked every guest that's ever been on the Backpack Show. And cat fart candle. Every guest who's ever been on the back show is what goes in your backpack. Now, this could be something physical, like a bunch of bricks. It could be something metaphorical, like regret or grief.
For success. I mean, not too many people are going to need a bunch of bricks for success, unless you're like a mason.
You know, you never know. So I have that question, and I'm going to go in reverse order. Richard Roth, what goes in the backpack?
I would say both physically and metaphorically, a Swiss Army knife, because I've learned you have to be highly adaptable, be able to kind of create a tool as needed. You're not going to come into a situation, necessarily with what you need. So you want to have as many kind of tools in the tool belt as possible. And I like camping. You need a Swiss Army knife. Definitely.
I wouldn't know. I hate camping.
Same.
The Northwest in me.
Birdie goes in your backpack.
Oh gosh, a sense of humor for sure. I mean, that is so valuable as a business owner, as a person, just being able to find something to laugh about in any situation and find the bright side is so powerful as an entrepreneur.
I'm sure people love that at the funeral home. Like, look on the bright side.
There's a time and a place.
Steve says my candle would smell like black tea and bergamot.
I guess I have some product development to do for Steve.
Go team cat farts.
He's really connected to this one.
You should call it like cat toots or something really cute.
Something. Yeah.
I have business advice for you. The minute someone says you should, stop listening. So here we go. Hey, just a little.
Unless it's you. And then, of course, they should listen.
They should listen because I'm very sound. I forgot to tell you guys how we ended the show, so I'm not going to, but I'm going to do this one last thing first, which is this.
Well, I am Ninja, he's Ninja, she is Ninja too. I am Ninja, we are Ninja, but I believe that you are Ninja too.
Hiya! Ask a Ninja special delivery. What is podcasting?
That's a guy who I was saying was here, our friend Douglas. So he may or may not know the ninja. So that was the way the internet ran in 06, kids. All right. The thing I forgot to tell you about is that my grandmother had a company where she sold candles to tech support companies. It was very weird. She really worked hard to make sure that none of the wax got into the printers. It was all dot matrix back then. So all like, the daisy wheels and all that kind of thing. It was a very bad time for printers. There's one thing I remember that she always told me about the importance of future candles, which was